Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of Checkpoint Chat. I'm one of your hosts, Alessandro Barbosa, and I'm joined, as always, by Matthew Figuera.
It's raining outside.
It's very miserable outside. And you went for a run this morning as well.
I did. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, no. Screw that noise.
While I was freezing my balls off, I had visions of you being cozy in bed.
I got out of bed like half an hour ago. It was a good time.
Yeah. It was good, though. I feel good.
Yeah.
I've burned some energy. I'm tired, though. You're
going to be sick tomorrow. Yeah, I'm feeling very fresh. I got like 12 hours of sleep last night because it was a rough week. I feel very good.
Yeah, well, I got 7 hours of sleep, let's say. I had visions of playing games till like the early hours, only getting 4-5 hours of sleep, but adulting is hard.
Yo, imagine you had done that and then
oh my gosh. I've done it before. I wouldn't recommend it for people. But yeah, I'm exhausted. And yeah, it's been quite a week. How's your week been?
Yeah, it's been good. It's very busy. I think we both had very busy weeks at work. And then it's just been a crazy week all around in terms of like gaming stuff happening because it's the end of March. So lots of stuff is being announced, before all these companies wrap up their financial years. So it seems like everyone's trying to get their announcements out before E3, which is kind of a weird thing.
Yeah. And it's weird because it's only March. We've still got a good 3 months before E3.
Yeah.
So
already plans are coming out. We'll chat about it in the news, but like Microsoft's doing some weird things. They're like moving where they're showing the E3 stuff, kind of like EA, and it's a very weird space for I think E3 is going to be very different this year. I know we said that last year because they let in the public for the first time and EA moved and stuff like that, but I think this year is going to be strange.
Yeah, but it'll still be good.
Oh, yeah. I think E3 is good irrespective. I just think like the whole notion of E3 happening under one roof is very, very quickly like fading away.
Going away.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose we'll get to it later.
Yeah. We'll get to that later. But so because it's been such a busy week, I haven't really had a chance to play much, but it's also a combination of like there hasn't been many big things coming out over this week. A lot of that is happening next week. So I don't know. Did you play anything really different or exciting this week, or did you just play a lot of Witcher again?
Yeah, so I poured more time into The Witcher to pick up where we left off 2 weeks ago. I finished the whole Bloody Baron quest, and I'm in Novigrad now, marching around, dabbling with that gang war. Well, not the gang war, but basically the main quest is there are 4 sort of mobs in the town, and someone tried to get one of the leaders to kill the other 3, or to like cause a bit of a civil war in the city. I don't know if you remember that.
I think it's that really big looking guy. I forget his name.
Dijkstra.
Yes, Dijkstra.
No, it wasn't him. He's one of the leaders, but it wasn't him causing the
because he's like the spy dude.
Yeah, he's a spy. Yeah, I don't know. There's a whole history there that I don't know, either from Witcher 1 or 2, or maybe from the book.
Yeah, that's where my knowledge also started getting spotty, but yeah.
Yeah, so I've been dabbling with that, and then obviously Triss is in the city, so there's her side quest, which only really kicks off for me this week sometime. You basically focus on that whole gang war, which I saw to the end last night, where you find the guy responsible for it, whose name is Horson. Yeah, very, very twisted character. I don't know if you remember that. Did you?
This is where I start like forgetting what happened in The Witcher.
I understand exactly what you mean, though. So I remember you saying the Baron quest was one of your favorites, if not your favorite from the game. And I can understand why, because I think that portion of the game, it sort of was a lot easier to keep track of what was going on. You had like that one main thread running through everything. Whereas now in Novigrad, it feels like there's like 1 or 2 threads going, but there's a lot happening around it. So I don't know, maybe it dilutes the whole story a little bit. No, well, not diluted. It just feels like there's a little bit less of an impact. And I don't know if that's maybe because the Baron quest is just really good, or if
I think it's a bit of both. Like I had the exact same experience with The Witcher 2, where I can remember almost every single story beat from the first act, because The Witcher 2 is just 3 acts essentially. And the first act happens in the city called Flotsam. I think it's Flotsam. And like I can remember beat for beat what happens there, but in the second act, I don't really recall what. Like I kind of I can have these like images in my head of what the city looked like, but I can't recall the main story. And then I remember the end of The Witcher 2, which is really good.
Do you think that's because the game opens up more in the second act?
I think it's also just like a loads of information. Like it's a lot to keep track of.
Tons of characters, and I mean that Novigrad's huge. So there's a lot of. I mean, as I've told you, I've sort of found my rhythm now where I'm steering completely away from side quests.
Yeah.
I only really focus on the treasure hunts, the witch hunts, and the main quest. But even then, it feels like there's just so much to do in that city, even just running around. And the main quests themselves, they're so big and padded that, yeah, it's taking a long time to get through. And don't get me wrong, I'm still loving every minute of it. But it does feel like there's just that less of an impact compared to that Baron main quest. Which, as we know, it didn't work out for me.
yeah, it didn't really work out for you. I think anyone who played The Witcher and heard the decision you made knew that it was coming. Yeah, but
I mean,
to be fair, I don't even know if the converse, like what happens on the other part. Yeah, I have no idea. So I can't specifically say you made the bad choice. You just made the choice that I, knew what was going to happen.
Exactly, but I mean, that's the beauty of the game is that I suppose there is no right choice. There are some that I feel are like better than others. So with this gang boss Horson, so spoiler, I killed him last night. I think the converse is that you don't kill him, but I don't see why you wouldn't want to kill him because he really does seem like an alright arsehole. So I don't know what twist in the story there would be or how it would play out if you kept him alive. Like, I don't know, does he help you later on, or does life just go on, or what had happened? But I felt that it was a pretty obvious choice to me. Like, you can't let that guy live because.
Was this at that fancy party?
No. Okay, so that's part of Triss's quest where she's trying to get mages out of Novigrad.
Oh yes, that's right.
One of them's an alchemist that you find. Well, you have to extract him from that masquerade ball, which is probably one of my favorite quests as well.
It's very fun. Yeah.
You're walking around and there's just drunk people everywhere, and it's just an all-round good time.
They're wearing cool masks.
Yeah, there's Black Panther in that.
Yeah, it's Black Panther. The guy forever.
Yeah, the guy you're extracting is wearing a Black Panther mask. I was like, oh.
You get to flirt with Triss again a little bit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm still really enjoying the game, and I had, like I said, I had visions of playing. I said this to you before we started recording. I had every intention of, it's Friday night, I'm going to play it till like 1 or 2 in the morning, get as much Witcher time in as I can. And I was in bed by like 11:30. I was too tired.
Yeah, that was basically my evening as well. It's just, I had this vision of getting home on Friday, not having much to do, and finally diving back into Persona 5 because I haven't been able to play the game since like January. After the whole like Christmas break, I had like 2 weeks where I was just playing Persona 5. So I got really, really far, and I feel like I'm
what's really
close
far?
to the
like
end.
20 hours, 30 hours? Because that's not really far.
I'm around 60 or 70 hours now. So I say I'm close to the end, and that is true, but there's still about another 15 or 20 hours to go.
Yeah.
So I need time to like sink my teeth back into it, because Persona is not a game where you can pick it up for 2 hours and get stuff done. Like when I play again, I will have to remember what I was doing, what attributes I was busy like pursuing to kind of upgrade and stuff. So it's like it's a reintroduction to the game almost. It's a tough game to like leave for a long time. So I had visions of doing that last night. I got home and I collapsed. I was so tired. So
people say we're young.
Yeah, geez, I'm feeling the effects. Like I understand how people. I used to say, oh man, writing about games and being at university was hard because like you're at university and you're there the whole day, and then when you get home you still have work to do because you have assignments and homework. And I was like, man, when you get a job it's not going to be that bad because you don't have that problem. You're at work and then you come home.
You just play games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still studying and working at the same time, so that's a bit different. But work, man, it takes it out of you like crazy.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I just had a long week, so last night I did play a good 2-3 hours of Witcher, and I wrapped up that quest, but I couldn't keep my eyes open, and I'm stuck in Triss's side quest now. So
who do you like between Triss and Yennefer?
I don't really know Yennefer that much yet. I mean,
okay, true.
Yeah,
true.
when you start the game, I mean, I've spent more time with the other sorceress, Q.U.B.E, because you meet her in what is it, Velen? I think.
Velen, yeah.
She's the sorceress you meet there. So I know more of her, and I know Yennefer's like, I suppose the inverted commas primary love interest, or like Geralt, kind of. Something, whatever.
Yeah.
But I've only met her like briefly. I mean. So
it's a weird thing, like, because if you just played The Witcher 2, like Triss comes off as the main love interest because in The Witcher 2, Geralt doesn't have his memory, so he doesn't really remember Yennefer that much, stuff like that. But she is generally considered the main love interest because she is the like core of the story essentially. So, but that doesn't mean you have to choose her essentially. No. But I find them both interesting. I just like Triss a lot more.
But it's interesting for me because I never played The Witcher 2. So all these characters are brand new to me.
Okay.
But it's interesting that it's made obvious that there is a history between Geralt and Triss because like when you meet her, things seem a bit awkward. I don't know what he did to like piss her off, or I don't know if it's a decision from the second game or if it's canon, like something happened between them. But you can see like things are a bit awkward between them.
Yeah.
But as you play, if you make the right choices, you can, I assume, develop that relationship or, just let that fire die.
I can't imagine Geralt's an easy person to be around. He just wants to kill monsters. He just disappears, stuff like that.
And he can sleep with everyone.
Yeah. He's so brooding and stoic and just like so off-putting sometimes. Yeah. Like, man, Triss really puts up with some shit.
I know. So I don't blame her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still pursuing that side quest. And I agree with you though. Very interesting character. I mean, especially for me, I meet these characters, I'm like, I don't give two shits about them. But as you start spending time with them, chatting with them, doing quests with them, you do start being like, cool. Like I see what her worry is and what her goal is and that sort of thing. And you do like develop not a connection, but I suppose an affection or an appreciation of these fucking digital characters.
Yeah, because they've written so
gaming.
Well. Yeah.
No,
exactly.
I think I still firmly believe The Witcher's got some really solid writing.
Yeah.
I mean, every conversation I have, if you want to just fly through it, you basically choose the options that are highlighted in yellow.
Yeah.
But I'm going through every single one because I love to hear what's happening, why are you there, what's the context of this, and it's really interesting. I mean, I think not just me, everyone who plays the game probably spends more time listening or playing through the story than they actually do killing monsters.
Yeah,
because there's just a ton.
There's a lot of I think the world itself is really interesting. I mean, it's kind of like why Game of Thrones is also really interesting. I think just because its world building is very fascinating. But The Witcher is less political and more about a dude who's caught up in between the politics of of the land around him and isn't too concerned with picking sides, which I find really interesting.
Yeah.
He just has a singular goal and keeps getting in the way of all these people with these other, power ambitions and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's really well written and it makes me excited for the Netflix show that is in production at the moment.
There's a Netflix show?
Didn't you know that? Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah, there's a Netflix show in production and I think it was like a month ago or so, round about then, they released a kind of like teaser of the characters that are going to be in the series. So they haven't, as far as I know, they haven't cast any of the characters, so we don't know the actors, but they've said, oh, you'll probably see Triss, and obviously you'll see Geralt, and stuff like that. So yeah, as far as I know, cool. I don't know when it's coming out. I don't think it has a release date, but I know it's in production. So
do you know who's developing it? Is it
I'm not
Polish
sure.
Or is it Netflix original?
I know it's using the books as a source.
Okay.
And as I don't know if it's still true, but when they announced the project, they had the writer of the books on board.
Oh,
because there's a whole big thing. The Witcher games are using the books as source material, but CD Projekt Red bought the rights for the video games ages ago.
Yeah.
I think it was 2004 or 5, round about there.
Long time.
And as a result of that deal, the writer didn't get any royalties from the games. I think he just signed off the rights and said, this is a lump sum you know, for you to be able to make games. And I don't think anyone expected it to be
as big as it became.
So he's often voiced his displeasure at that deal, even though I think it was just a matter of like him not realizing what he had and CD Projekt Red maybe not even realizing what they had. But as far as I know, he's involved with the TV series, so maybe that's a way for him to recoup some of this money from this blockbuster franchise. I mean, imagine George R.R. Martin sold the rights off to the Game of Thrones TV series and got no royalties from it. Like, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. That's exciting, though. I didn't know there's a Netflix show. So if they can keep the characters and story strong, then by all means, I think they'll pull it off.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff in the books that, you know, is never explored in the games. So I've never read the books, partly because they are translated. So sometimes you lose some of the meaning. Yeah. And I haven't met anyone who's outright said, oh, you should probably read these books. But I'm keen to see what they do with the series. If it becomes like Netflix's own Game of Thrones, like HBO.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Shit. I'm down for Geralt.
It's exciting.
Who would you want to be Geralt, though?
That's a good question. Well, isn't it the obvious Sean Bean so he can die at some point?
No, but we don't want him to die.
No, this is true.
Sean Bean can be his like mentor, Vesemir.
Yeah, that's actually they'd have to age him. Oh, you wouldn't really have to age him.
Yeah, he's getting old. I think
who would you cast?
The very popular bet is getting Mads Mikkelsen as Geralt.
Oh, that would be a good one.
Because he just looks like Geralt.
Yeah, he actually looks... Yeah, just give him some ashen hair, give him that scar and those eyes.
Yeah, he's a great actor. He's got a really good like voice for it. Yeah, I'd be down for that. So I don't know who I'd cast for things like Yennefer and Triss, because so often these Netflix series, they have people you recognize, but they're not like A-list Hollywood actors, and that's cool because they get to act in this different like space,
and they're really good.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of the time.
I mean, did you know Charlie Cox before Daredevil on Netflix? I didn't, and I think he's really good. He's perfect.
Never seen Daredevil, so I know.
Have you watched
Friendship
Jessica Jones?
Being Tested? No, haven't seen any of the Netflix Marvel shows. I know I'm a bad nerd.
My goodness, we're going to be talking 2 years down the line of this podcast. You're like, oh man, I finally watched Daredevil.
Wow, did you guys know how awesome? No, I don't know. I just need to make the time to catch up on all of those shows.
Yeah, we need time machines.
We do.
Time is the one thing that's keeping me back from like my backlog from last year as well, which just keeps getting worse and worse as the months go on because there's more games that keep adding to it.
It's never going to get better.
No,
so that's just you have to cut some games out. Yeah, and that's just a sad reality.
Just depressing. Yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise, what have you been playing?
So I haven't really been playing much this week. Just super busy, but I do have the chance to talk about Q.U.B.E 2. Q.U.B.E 2, yes, which I couldn't really chat about last week. So my review is up on GameSpot now. And yeah, my opinions of the game haven't really changed. I think it's really good. Essentially what it is a kind of reinvention of the first game. So if you played the first Q.U.B.E, all it was this like really bland puzzle game, which had some really interesting puzzles, but didn't really have a story encapsulating it. You got into these rooms and you'd have blocks that were different colors, like a red block you could retract from the wall and a blue block you could kind of bounce off of. And I think it went up to like you had green blocks, which could spawn a cube that you could kind of move around in the room, kind of like the companion cube in Portal.
There's hearts on it.
It didn't have hearts. It's just
that
green.
game is shit.
Yeah. But you also had yellow ones, which would make a staircase or stuff like that. So Q.U.B.E 2 reduces the amount of variables you have, so you don't have as many colors to deal with, but it gives you the chance to place these blocks in the room. So in the first Q.U.B.E, they were always static, and you just had to kind of like use what you had to solve the puzzle. Here you have these like gloves that you can look at, that you can use to look at white plain tiles, and you can say, cool, I want that tile to be red, or I want that tile to be blue. So you're creating the solutions to the puzzles a bit more, which I think is a much better means to do it. It makes you feel less like you're just messing around with these cubes till you find a solution that works, and more planning your solution to them.
You can experiment more.
Yeah, you can experiment a lot more. I still think it's a bit limited because you're like, like in Portal, you're only able to create portals on white walls, and that's how they limit you from creating portals in obscure places and like completely going away from the solution. So Cube 2 does the same thing, but there's so few tiles in some of the rooms for you to mess around with that it's often very obvious. Yeah.
Okay.
They're kind of like signposts. They're like, you will have to use this section of white tiles, and they will have to interact with this other section across the room because, well, they have to.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's not a lot of misdirection used. So sometimes you walk into a room and almost immediately see the solution just because of the placement.
The way,
yeah. But despite that, I think it's really challenging. I think it's a really fun game. If you're especially a fan of stuff like Portal, it follows that kind of same vein. You have these mechanics introduced throughout the game, like some switches will activate like oil slicks, so you can coat a cube in oil and get it to slide across a room where it would previously just like not move. Some doors you have to use force to open, so you have to like propel a cube into them, or you have to set them on fire so it can burn down the door before you can do stuff. Other areas have these massive industrial like fans that you can use to kind of like propel yourself up to areas that you can get to and like hop along. So there's these cool mechanics introduced throughout, and it's like 4 hours or so, 4 or 5 hours, which is I think a good length.
Game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's like it introduces new stuff fairly regularly, so I never felt like I was just redoing the same solutions over and over again. The story's pretty shit though. Yeah, I like.
Aww. No GLaDOS?
No GLaDOS, no. It's basically like you're this character called Amelia Cross, and she's on this cube, which is like this alien vessel.
Is she angry?
She doesn't have her memories. I don't know. It's so contrived. It's so weird. It's like, and then like someone else is trying to help her saying, oh, this alien thing wiped out life on Earth or something like that. And then you find out that the cube is actually sentient. So it's not a vessel. It's actually like this alien life that you're manipulating. It's like all these sci-fi things, but it's told in such a strange way that I never really knew what was going on. And then like at the end, it rushes to kind of like give you all this exposition and all this like information dump that it's just like, okay, that it's too much. It's not coming together. Yeah. And the voice acting is pretty good. I thought Amelia was really good. I actually thought she was the same voice actress as Lara in Tomb Raider when it first started. It sounded very similar.
Camilla Luding?
Yeah, but it's not her, as far as I know. But it's like, she was very British, I guess. Yeah. And she sounded very similar. But yeah, the story, like Portal 2 has a really cool, funny, interesting story around it, and GLaDOS is a really interesting character. Q.U.B.E just doesn't have that. So it tries to be a little less bland than the first one, but it still comes off as a little bit like, I'm just doing this stuff and hearing this like machine talk to me just because, you know. But the puzzles are still really good. I still think it's a really good game, and in a world where we are probably never going to get a Portal 3, this is, I think...
Don't say that.
We're not. Just accept it. I mean... It's not going to have, even if Valve or Gabe Newell says they're going to start shipping games again, I'm like, I don't see Portal 3.
They're shipping Artifact.
The card game. Yeah, I can't wait till Portal, the card game, either, you know.
Imagine.
Oh, God, Lord.
Oh, God.
But
Valve,
yeah, it's the closest thing we've had to that. So I would 100% pick it up if you're just, you know, keen for a short, neat, clever puzzle game. It's on PlayStation and PC and Xbox and stuff, so you spoils for choice. Would be cool on Switch, like any other game, you know.
We've made this very clear that
that we love Switch.
Yeah, but we won't dive into that.
But you also started playing a game this week, another mobile game.
So
you mobile gaming.
Well, after playing...
Casual.
Filthy casual. I'm not a real gamer. I just play on my phone. I mean,
mobile games. I can't wait till you let us know about Candy Crush.
Oh, man. I've heard so many good things about that. No, so after playing Florence, which I spoke about last week, and obviously it's kind of silly because my love for the Switch stems from the fact that I can play it anywhere. And it's ridiculous to think that I don't play enough on my phone because my phone goes with me everywhere. So Florence was just sort of a gateway, I guess, to like, oh, it was quite handy that I could literally play that anywhere. I don't like, it's not my Switch, it's my phone. It's with me all the time. So I thought there really is a whole world there that I just haven't explored of mobile gaming. And the one title that's been around for a long time, which I know a lot of people still play to this day, is Final Fantasy Brave X.
Oh man, I don't know.
However it's spelled. Let me look it up on my phone quickly.
It's a weird name. That's all I know.
Let me just pop in your final. Yeah, it's. I think it's Brave X. Yeah. FF Exvius. Let's just leave it at that.
Brave FF Exvius.
No, it's Final Fantasy Exvius. Let's say.
Exvius.
I think there's a Brave before the Exvius, but I don't know.
Okay.
We're getting in the weeds.
Jeez, we're getting Final Fantasy getting close to Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, with all the name. Well, Square Enix.
2.8 Fantasy Final Chapter Prologue
Remake,
XD remake.
Sounds like
Ultra
your
edition.
PSN name.
Yeah, shut up. God.
So yeah, it's funny because I tried this game. It came out, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. I could be wrong. I'll probably butcher the date, but it came out like a long time ago. Excuse me. And I thought, Final Fantasy on mobile, like, I love the franchise. Obviously, I'm going to play that. So I downloaded it and I dived into it, and you met with loading screens.
Oh, good. I love
all
loading
day,
screens.
every day.
Are they beautiful though? Like, what type of animation are we talking about here?
No, okay, the main loading screen's people running on Chocobo, so it's nice.
Okay, cool. Does it have Chocobo music?
No.
Oh, god damn it.
Okay, so, but I tried it 2 years ago, and I just never got past the tutorial, because I'm like, this kind of defeats the purpose of a mobile game, which I still feel is the same today, because you can't keep fucking downloading shit using your mobile data.
Yeah.
I know why they make you download stuff in the game, but I still don't get why you can't just have a lump sum to the App Store. You know, you download your update, you're good for the week, whatever the hell it is. So anyway,
so this is one of the ones that like kind of updates on the App Store, and then you open it, and it's
then
like downloading
to
another
download.
update.
So
annoying.
2-3 years ago, whatever it was, I played through the tutorial, and then I got hit by this massive loading screen. Okay,
Fun.
So I basically shelved it. I was like, this isn't going to work for me. But I was like, okay. 2 years later, I've seen a lot of our friends on Twitter playing it, and they're hooked on it.
Darren and Umar always.
Yeah, they're always playing. And Darren said the other day, like, it's a freemium game done right. I'm like, cool, because I don't want to play a game, like, not that I don't want to give money to developers, but I hate those games. It's like, cool, you want to do this, like, give us $5 to speed up this or do this, whatever.
Are you sure he's not luring you into a Final Fantasy Ponzi scheme?
He might be. It's going to be like, add me as a friend and I'll get like $10 or something. I don't know.
It's just like the Amway, but for games.
Exactly. But so I started playing it again recently, and I had the same irritation. So I've played the game for about 2 hours, and by playing it for 2 hours, I've probably watched loading screens for 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Jesus.
Okay, that's an exaggeration, but I played through the tutorial, and then what happens is the first time I was playing it. Now, I'm jumping back and forth between timelines.
Yeah,
so we're talking modern current me now. Okay,
I need you to put this up on a whiteboard and explain.
I'll draw you some shit. Okay, so but I played through the tutorial now, and before you start the tutorial, it says you can download files while you're doing the tutorials. I'm like, cool. So I play through the whole tutorial, and I finish it, and it smacks me with the main loading screen again.
Okay.
And it's downloaded 6%. So at that point, I'm like, nope. Okay, so I close the game. I'm like, I'll do it at work because I've got fiber at work. It'll just be a lot quicker. Okay.
Yes.
So I go to work the next day, and first thing I do, pop my laptop open up the game, leave it next to me so I can update. We've got fiber at work. I'm there early. It should fly. Okay. But then I lock my screen because I don't want my battery to waste. Hear me out. Okay. So I check it every like 10 minutes, and it's moving like 2%. It's moved like 2%.
Okay.
And I check it again like 20 minutes later, it's on like 5%.
Okay.
I go to a 2-hour meeting, I get out, it's on 10%. I'm like, how big is this download that it's taking so goddamn long? Eventually, I go and I sit at my desk at my lunch break, and I leave the game open on the loading screen, and it loads quicker. Obviously, when you lock your screen, I don't know, there's something maybe it limits it, or to save battery or something, it slows it down.
It's like a Pokemon Go thing.
Yeah, but when the game's open, it downloads at maximum speed. Okay, so I finished the download at work, but obviously I'm working, I'm not going to play at work. So I'm like, cool, I can finally play this. Yeah, rookie mistake. God forbid I do my job.
No, how dare you.
So I'm like, cool, it's done. I watch the screen finish. I can play it when I get home. Okay. That evening, I get home, have dinner, do my thing, climb into bed. I'm like, cool, I'm going to get into this now. Open it. I get hit by the same fucking loading screen.
Another one?
I don't know. The same one, the primary one.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, did I was I meant to like prompt, like go through the next section so that like it kept the files, whatever. So like, this game doesn't want me to play it. Like, it really doesn't.
Okay, so this is still 2 years ago, or this is
No, this is modern me now.
Week?
Yeah,
oh
this is me committed to the game.
I would have deleted it by now. This is gone.
This is me committing. I'm like, no, I will play it. Okay, so I did download it again with the screen there, whatever. And I finally made it past the lump download. Okay. But still, every dungeon you play, there's like a quick loading screen.
Mm-hmm.
If you open your inventory, there's a loading screen. If you take on a quest, there's a loading screen. Okay, granted, it's not as long as the initial big whack of a download, but it's still very irritating.
Of course.
But you know what? I'm sorry to say that I've done like a couple of dungeons now. I'm still learning the mechanics. I've finally have the ability to like free roam, because initially when you start, it's you just doing battles.
Okay.
You can't like run around, talk to people, whatever.
Okay.
So the game's opened up for me a bit now, and I can see why people are enjoying it, because it's a traditional Final Fantasy game in the sense that there's a town, you can go talk to people, there are quests to take. So loading screens aside, the little bit of time I've actually played this game, I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
That's the... Long story short...
What is the game, though? Like, because I've seen... Every time I see Darren and Umar they tweet about it, they're just unlocking cool shit.
They're unlocking characters. So, I'm really not fond of the story. Like, not by a long shot. You start off...
Okay.
Yeah, there's a story. There's two characters. I know the one guy's name is Rain. I can't remember what the hell the other guy's name is. Wait, we've got Cloud, we've got Squall, we've got Rain now. Square Enix are really taking this.
Yeah. the sequel
this to the next level. Dry.
Yeah. We have Lightning as well.
As long as we don't have Moist.
Good Lord.
That's okay. So the story so far, it's like as average as can be. Sorry to say, it's literally you're on an airship with your comrade. You get a distress call saying like, oh no, someone's going to steal the Earth Crystal. Final Fantasy, so obviously there are crystals, yeah. You go and there's a bad guy and the Earth Crystal gets shattered, okay? And then we're like, shit, we don't have an airship now. We need to go warn our kingdom, whatever. And that's about the extent of how far I'm in the story. I've just walked into a village now. I'm doing sort of some side quests, whatever, but I haven't gotten into the meat of the story at all. And the way it works, though, the reason you're seeing other characters from other franchises, because they do explain it, but at this point, I'm so happy to finally be playing the game. I'm skipping through like every fucking like tutorial and everything. Yeah, I'm like, I just want to see what this game's about. So I'm butchering this horribly, but you can basically summon other characters from other franchises.
Okay.
I don't know how yet to
interdimensional Earth Crystal portal.
Yeah, shit like that. I don't know. I haven't reached a point yet where I can. They call it pulling. Like, have you pulled that character yet?
Jesus, sounds like source control.
I haven't got there yet, or I haven't figured out how to do that. But that's the whole thing. Is you basically get characters from across the entire Final Fantasy franchise to put in your party, and you can play the game with them.
Okay,
it's my understanding. Okay. But that's all I have to say about that. Now I haven't really gotten into the game properly yet because
you haven't unlocked Cloud yet?
Nope.
Can you unlock the good boys from Final Fantasy 15?
I think you can. I think that's actually seasonal content. So what's quite cool with the game is that they do have events running regularly.
Okay.
So for example, I presume to tie in with the Tomb Raider movie now. And the fact that Lara Croft is a Square Enix.
Pretty okay, yeah.
Yeah, which is okay.
Oh, whoa. It's a Final Fantasy game, you can get Lara Croft.
You can get Lara Croft.
Shit.
As part of a seasonal promotion or event, whatever.
Should have come down.
So get through the loading screens, and there are things like that. And I think, I don't know, maybe it was recently or a few months ago, you could get the Final Fantasy 15 characters.
Shit.
So the reason you're always downloading shit in the games because there are actually... There's ongoing events and characters and stuff.
But so you've got... Imagine now you get Noctis and Gladio and
Lara Croft and Cloud.
Ignis and... What's the other dude's name? Prompto.
That guy.
Prompto, yeah, okay. So imagine you have all four of them and then you're fighting on this airship. Okay?
Yes.
Bear with me. And you're fighting on this... And the Earth Crystal's dying. And you've got people like Cloud there and whatever. And you're just chilling out. And then suddenly Ignis comes up. He's like... I found a new recipe.
Oh, God.
I'm down.
Why aren't you playing this? So, yeah, loading screens aside, there is a game there. I haven't reached any point where it's like because it's a freemium game, I'm assuming there's going to be a point where it's like you have run out of energy or
earth crystals,
or like wait a day to you and your fucking earth crystals, or like wait a day to do this battle, or like I don't know if that is in the game, but I presume.
Do you battle your characters?
No, you just fight a whole lot of other creatures and monsters. So the combat itself is pretty fun. It's addictive. You literally like tap each character to do an attack, and you can chain them. But like I said, this is really top level. I haven't gotten into the nitty gritty like at all. There's tons of menus, and you can still like equip spells, and you get limit breaks or attacks, and you still get your weapons and armor, and there's a whole lot of, and then there's shit where you can like not fuse characters together. There's some fusion system happening there. There's a lot happening, which is probably why I shouldn't have skipped through the.
Is it like the thing on Pokemon Go where you sacrifice your Pokemon and turn them into? Candy?
Oh no, into candy.
Yeah,
imagine cloud candy.
Cloud candy. Oh yeah, I'm sure Ignis could cook something like that.
I wonder if you pull extra characters. Oh yeah, Ignis can concoct some recipes right now. No, okay, this is a whole separate game we're pitching right now.
But I know that you can like sacrifice things to get better chances on your next
or something.
Like summon or
so
something like that.
I haven't figured that out, but I presume.
But that seems like the normal loop. Like fight, get some resources, use them.
I've got a
ton
of resources already, and I'm sure they're pretty useless because it's so early in the game. But I'm getting tons of shit. I don't know what it's for, but
unlocking cool people.
I haven't unlocked anyone cool yet.
No Tifa.
I unlocked some Final Fantasy character. I'm like, I don't even know who the hell this is.
So you see,
I'm not hardcore fan enough, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
I've only played
if I don't get someone
games.
from 7 or 15, I'd be like, fuck
who's
this dude.
this?
Like,
yeah,
fucking Earth Crystal.
But I'm keen to try more. But now that I'm past that fucking huge hurdle of a loading screen. Sure, there are loading screens, but it's much quicker.
If there was Chocobo music, though.
Yeah, keep me... Well, there's the typical, like, Final Fantasy music, but no Chocobo music. So,
oh, man.
Yeah.
That Final Fantasy 15 Chocobo music's so good.
Yeah, so good. There are Chocobos in the game.
Do you ride them into battle?
I haven't.
Oh my god.
I'm not that far yet. But yeah, as I go, I'll keep you guys posted.
Cool.
So now I've got Witcher, I've got Final Fantasy, Brave,
yeah, you're going down all these holes,
Kingdom Hearts 3.524.
Yeah, final
revised mobile
Dream Drop,
edition.
prologue, final chapter.
So I'm playing those two things, yeah. But yeah,
Kingdom Hearts.
God damn it.
Lord.
But yeah, that's the extent of what I've played this week.
Okay,
really, just
cool.
that and Witcher.
Yeah, I haven't. Like I said, I haven't played anything else. I jumped back into Destiny 2 for a little bit with a friend on PC, and the game's really good on PC. Like, it's far better on PC than console, just because it's like mouse and keyboard and 60 frames per second, and it changes the meta
you're playing
a
it
little
on
bit.
PC? No.
Well, yeah. Well, the person I was playing with was playing on PC, so I have a PC copy, and I was like, well, you know, I haven't really even reached the level cap with my character on PC, so I decided to. We just like started blazing through some story missions and stuff like that.
That's cool.
And it's a pity. It just makes me think about Destiny again in a way. Like, this game could be so much more than it currently is. Because the game itself is really fun. The shooting is super fun. There's just no real loot drive. There's no, like, especially in the story, now that I know what comes afterwards and like what happens at the level cap, like, I couldn't give a shit what weapons I'm getting now.
Yeah.
I couldn't care for the armor I'm getting now. There's no real draw. Like, in the same way, if you restarted Diablo 3 today, you know, you'd be getting weapons and you knew that, you know, you'd be recycling them and getting new ones. But there's still that drive of, oh man, I got my first blue drop or something like that. Like, Destiny doesn't have that. And then it gets worse when you get to the end of the game and there's no real, you know, drive to get a specific weapon or a specific piece of armor. So they're changing that stuff. There's the April, I think it's May
they'll
update,
fix it as an
3.
expansion or two.
Yeah, it just it bugs me, and it was what I was chatting about while we were playing. It's just like Destiny 1 finished off in such a strong place, and they just kind of dismantled a lot of that, with the sequel, which is just so confusing. Yeah, and it's what I hope that they don't do for the Division 2. Yeah, because the Division 2 is in a really good space at the moment. So yeah, I'm keen to see that at E3.
It's interesting. Ubisoft's they basically have a bit of a track record where a game launches to like okay-ish reviews or whatever, and then with time they just make it better. So like even Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah.
I mean, that game's in its third year now.
I think it's the third year season.
And I think it's doing better than ever.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the Division. It launched and then they just, okay, the Division's not seeing those numbers, I don't think. But the fact that just instead of being like, cool, this game's done, they've polished it and made it better and better. So let's just hope that they can take that into Division 2. Is like not how Bungie did with Destiny. It's like, cool, Destiny 1, we've fixed it. It's awesome now. But Destiny 2, sorry.
Yeah, we'll just like reboot it from a year behind or whatever.
Which doesn't make any sense at all.
No, I think Ubisoft gets a lot of slack for, things that I don't think are really fair. I can't remember the last time Ubisoft made a bad game.
Yeah,
I can't remember the last time I played a Ubisoft game and went like, this is just not good. I think the closest I can come to that is the first Watch Dogs wasn't... Okay, yeah, Steep was not that great. But the first Watch Dogs I didn't like that much. But it was still an okay, decent game, like, that a lot of people still love. But, like, Watch Dogs 2 is really good. Rainbow Six Siege, really good. The Division, pretty good.
I mean, and look what they did with Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed Origins,
they took
very
that year
good.
off, which people have been crying for a long time. Like, just stop spitting them out, take a year off, really put the effort into the exam. And I mean, a lot of our friends and people on Twitter saying, like, a lot of them will say it's not on par with The Witcher, but like, it's just really, really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%. It's like got like reinvented combat for the series. It's got a really good setting, really good characters, and even that just got some DLC this week where you fight like dead pharaohs and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. And big scorpions and
sorry, just on what I found very interesting in that game is just their setting. They've got that whole Egyptian setting.
Yeah,
they've patched in like tours. So
the discovery mode,
which is really cool. So if you, I don't know, want to show your parents or anyone like, hey, we know you're not a gamer, but have you seen? Here's like a proper recreation of ancient Egypt. Take a digital tour, and how cool is that?
Yeah, exactly. So I love that aspect, and I think it's a really cool way for people to get, to add accessibility to games that generally wouldn't be accessible at all. It's like taking an audio tour at a museum, except you're going through this game, you don't have to fight anyone, and you go, oh, who's that character? And you get a whole like bio on Cleopatra.
I think it's awesome, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really
Imagine
cool
that
idea.
just on a school level. I mean,
exactly.
Shit, if I went to school and my teacher's like, here's a controller, go explore ancient Egypt. Like,
you'd find a way to get into the real game.
Then you'd just play the real game, but exactly.
Still. No, but I 100% agree. I think it's a really neat add-on and a really clever use of, assets that they already had there. It's not like they reinvented the game to make this mode. They just had to add a lot of text, obviously, and, remove a lot of the scripting. But the assets, the whole the recreation of Egypt is there. It's there from the main game, and that's the bulk of the work, I think. Yeah. So it's super clever. I think Ubisoft has a hard time for no real reason. I think like any publisher, they make mistakes. But I think they've proven that unlike, someone like EA, when they make mistakes, they rectify them.
Yep.
And all of their products are pretty good. I mean, they had a really good 2017 with Assassin's Creed and Mario and Rabbids and...
Mario and Rabbids, sorry, just to touch on that. Where did that even come from? Yeah. It was really, really good.
Everyone thought that this is the stupidest idea ever, and they managed to make this XCOM game that in many ways is better than XCOM, that combines these two franchises that, like, shit, I don't know. That Ubisoft takes risks, and I think I'm very excited to see what they have in store for
this
E3.
year. I mean, they do take risks. So Steep, I think, was one of the things. I've never played the game, so I can't tell you it's good or bad. But it seems like it was just mediocre in the sense that, like, I don't know what the player base looks like now.
Yet, despite that, they're still releasing free updates for it,
which is really cool. I mean, so it'll pull people. So people like me, if I see the game on sale, might be like, cool, they've updated it. Maybe there's new content there for me to play. Let me go check it out. But the point I'm getting at is that they really have sort of strengthened over the last year or two and proven that, they've always made good games, but they've shown that, okay, if a game's not great or like perfect, whatever you want to call it, they will pour the love into it to like make it reach a state where it is like, cool, this is a really excellent game. So I'm excited. I mean, we've got Division 2 on the way, but what else is coming this year or next year, whenever? There were rumors of Splinter Cell, for example, which is Interesting. That's a franchise I haven't touched for a long time, and I'd love to see that come back.
Yeah, let's actually use that as a good segue into the news of the week.
That was all planned. Not really.
Not really. But yeah, the one of the big news stories of the week was that a Splinter Cell retail page came up on Amazon, I think it was. And to be entirely honest, when they were teasing an announcement which ended up being The Division 2, I was really, really hoping for it to be a new Splinter Cell. I think Splinter Cell exists in this weird space where, you know, big publishers like Ubisoft and EA and Activision, they're all looking at games that are active services. So things like Destiny and The Division, which, you know, can be added to for years and years. Same thing with Rainbow Six. Splinter Cell falls in that single player, you know, narrative focused game, which is, I don't think disappearing, but is less important to big publishers who want to continue making money from it. So I wasn't shocked that it was The Division instead of Splinter Cell, but I am very excited for a new Splinter Cell. And, you know, the retail listing, I don't think means nothing. I definitely think it could be their big announcement at E3, because they always have something
that
big.
One right at the end.
Yeah, exactly. And they've got this really good cadence with alternating between Watch Dogs and Far Cry, you know, every kind of year. So, I mean, the easy bet would say, oh, we're going to get a Watch Dogs 3. But if they introduce like Splinter Cell into that mix, you know, like then you have Watch Dogs, Far Cry, Splinter Cell, and you just rotate like that. I'm down. I haven't... The last Splinter Cell Blacklist, did you play it at all?
I'm excited for Splinter Cell, but I only played the original trilogy. I haven't played anything.
So you played Chaos Theory?
That. Yeah, I played Chaos Theory.
Which is still the best one.
I loved those first 3 games were... I think I played the first 2 not long after, but not at release, maybe a couple of years after, and I still really loved them. And Chaos 3, I don't know, there was something, I remember just loading up the game for the first time and like, shit, like this game just looks good, and it's just,
It's still the best in the series. I think it nailed the combination of Sam Fisher being, you know, stealthy and, you know, really good at his job but also made the game feel challenging at the same way. I think it's clunky to play now, because like the movement's a bit stiff and whatever. But I think the games got a little bit easier as they went on. Like Double Agent was a cool idea where you had to balance like your loyalty to this terrorist organization and, you know, the government that you were
you're actually working
for. And then Conviction, as much as I still think it's a good game, I think it made the game a bit too easy with its mark and execute thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know that thing where you like mark enemies and then you could just press a button and he would just like fucking Rambo all of them all at once? I think Blacklist, it still had that aspect of the game, but Blacklist was so well designed. Its levels are really, its levels are really good. You know, really good stealth playgrounds. And I think it was just a return to form. It was a good balancing of the ideas that Conviction had and didn't really like execute on, although Darren would 100% disagree with me. Yeah, so I would definitely play Blacklist again. It was actually made by Ubisoft Montreal, which was headed up by Jade Raymond. She's one of the co-creators of Assassin's Creed. She now works at EA. At EA Motive, they're working on their own Star Wars thing.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, so, I don't know how much of her DNA was, you know, paramount to Blacklist being a success, but I think Ubisoft has a lot of talented studios and they could do something with that franchise.
Yeah, it's exciting. I think they've got a very strong few years ahead of them if they can keep this momentum up. Quite excited to see what they have at E3. I'm pretty sure we'll see more of The Division 2, and there'll always be that one big surprise, but I mean, what else are they...
Hopefully an update on Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Cool. I'm sure you'll see, hopefully see some of that.
That's still a project which I look at and go, this could either be great or never come out. Like, never come out. So, I don't know. Other news, do you have anything your side that you... Fortnite on iOS.
Oh, is that coming to you? You actually didn't mention, but I think you've been playing a bit of Fortnite.
Yeah, a little bit.
Did we talk about that last week?
Yeah, we spoke about it a bit last week, but I played a little bit more this week, and it's good. It's like because you've played PUBG. Right?
I've only played PUBG. I need to play Fortnite. Yeah, I really need to.
So I still think PUBG is good at certain things that Fortnite doesn't get right. Like PUBG is way more tense and way more stressful. So if you're looking for that type of experience, then 100% that is the better game to play. But I'm finding Fortnite a lot easier to just jump in and have a lot of fun with, especially when you're with squads. It's really, really cool. Having the map smaller also gets you into the action a lot quicker stuff like that.
Which PUBG
struggles with.
As much as I love it, it really is like a running simulator, 95%.
But I mean, you saw that in one of the updates, they said that they want to introduce a smaller map soon. So I think they're feeling the heat.
They must be. I mean, I don't know. What are Fortnite's numbers looking at now? Is it overtaken PUBG?
I don't know. I think overall it has, but also Fortnite is on one more platform. You know, it's on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, whereas PUBG is just PC and Xbox. And the Xbox version is so behind. It's really not good on Xbox. So I think that helps. I mean, there was also the thing this week where that streamer played with Drake.
I was just going to say, so that for me just showed that Fortnite really is on a whole level that I didn't expect, because I always knew it had its own community and everything, but just hearing this news, so just so you guys have some context and understanding, there's a popular streamer, his name's Ninja.
Ninja, yeah.
Just so you know, when I first heard that Ninja was streaming, for some reason I thought of Die Antwoord. So I was like, okay, that's weird. But yeah, so Ninja, a popular streamer, was playing, and he was joined by none other than Drake.
Yeah. Very weird.
Yeah, completely unexpected. And I'm actually... I'm going to get out my phone, because when I checked Ninja on Twitter, when this news broke, he had 500,000 or so followers on Twitter. By the end of the day, he had 850,000.
My God.
So I'm just curious to see now, what is it, like 2-3 days ago?
Imagine if he kept his notifications on during that.
His phone must have blown up.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to have a look at him now and see how many followers he has. He's nearly cracked 1 million. He's on 940,000. So just that I never watched the stream, but I saw it blow up on Twitter. I mean, he really had his own following, but now he's got flipping 440,000 extra followers now. And what that means is that more people who follow Drake, who maybe aren't even gamers, like, what is this Fortnite that everyone's going on about? Like, let's check it out. So it's going to just push Fortnite's numbers up even more, which is hectic to think, because PUBG already broke records.
Yeah.
And I think the way it's going, I don't want to say PUBG is like dwindling, but it seems like more and more people are pulling into Fortnite.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about this whole thing, is that it's very easy to look at Fortnite and say, oh, PUBG's dead. But
no,
I mean,
PUBG's not dead. It's definitely not dead.
PUBG is still is the most played game on Steam currently.
Still got tens of millions of fans, so
it's just like PUBG and Fortnite both exist in the sphere where no other game is able to touch them. But it is always fun to go and look at the two and see which one is performing better. I think Epic is just understanding the community aspect a lot better. They push out updates at a much greater cadence, and they respond to community feedback a lot better than PUBG. And I think looking at the response that Brandon Green and his PUBG Corp have had, they are recognizing that this is why they're losing a little bit of ground.
Yeah.
And they need to be better about both communication and getting things out there and stuff like that. But I still think that they're two very different games.
I mean, they just share the idea,
mode. They share the idea, but the feeling of playing Fortnite with its building mechanics and its different shooting and its less tense environment is very different to, like, you know, picking up a frying pan and a scar in PUBG and, you know, knowing that, okay, you've got range and, you know, you're slightly protected from behind and still being sniped from miles away and stuff like that. It's very different. And I think both can exist within this space. There doesn't have to be one battle royale.
No.
Yeah. But the interesting thing is that they're both coming to mobile.
Yeah.
So PUBG was in China already on mobile. It's apparently launched now in Canada and the US on mobile.
Oh, jeez.
And Fortnite is coming to iOS. They've already started sending out invites to their invite beta. And both games are like the same game. It's not a compromised experience. As far as I know, I don't know if this is true for PUBG, but Fortnite players on iOS are able to link up with PS4 and Xbox One players. So,
crossplay.
Yeah, all crossplay. It's the same game. It's
way.
It's absolutely crazy that this exists on a smartphone.
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to get PUBG, to work on a smartphone.
When they can't even get it working on Xbox.
Yeah, they can't get it working on Xbox. And on PC, there are still issues with the game. Like, it's officially launched. And what really frustrates me about PUBG is that as much as I love it, I don't have like a mind-blowing PC, but I play everything on the lowest possible detail. I have a card that will definitely run it fine, and I still have lag. Like I just can't wrap my head around it. So there's definitely optimization that needs to happen. And Fortnite, as you've said, they've got their turnaround time with stuff is so much quicker. They're releasing new content, and the game just runs beautifully. So I can understand that working on iOS.
Yeah.
How PUBG is going to work on mobile, how it is working on mobile. You say that Fortnite works. Mobile players can play with console players. I don't know how mobile PUBG players would be able to play with PC PUBG players, because I just don't know how the game would work on mobile.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I've read a few previews of people who've played both, and apparently both of them say that, you know, they function pretty well on mobile. There's some interesting, you know, control schemes that are used. It's still the weird like joystick on your screen and buttons on your screen, so like your vision is being obscured by your ability to play the game. But I think it's something that people will look past if the game is just good enough. If I can play an unhindered Fortnite game on my phone, you know, I will look past the slight shortfalls in its control, because that's just it blows my mind that it's even possible. And it's just fascinating to see, you know, a lot of people going, oh, this is a great idea, when a few years back, big franchises coming to mobile was kind of seen as like a cash grab and a way to, I don't know. It's an interesting space we find ourselves in. People are always on the go, and I think the Switch has a lot to do with this. People have realized that they can take their console experiences on the go, and they're more open maybe to this idea of, you know, big games like Fortnite and PUBG coming to mobile phones, and that's cool.
Well,
I'm down to try.
Don't you find it interesting that this very week I made that connection myself, completely unrelated to this Fortnite news, where I realized that like the reason I love my Switch so much is the fact that I can play it anywhere, and my phone is with me, so it makes sense for these games to come to mobile, because like you said, more and more people are realizing, hey, there's a whole market of people here who want to play games on their phone, or there's a market that needs to be created to cater to these people that want to play wherever the hell they are. So, and if they're not going to buy a Switch, then let's give it to them on their mobile phone.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
So yeah, it's just
But that's interesting. I'm keen to see that play out. What you got that side?
Just a random thing that came out this week. Geralt was confirmed for Soul Calibur, which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah. Very unsurprising considering
there were
ages.
rumors. Yeah, I was hoping he was going to come to Smash, but
I mean, he still could.
He still can.
He freaking still could, man. He looks really cool in Soul
he looks
Calibur,
awesome.
Though. Oh my god!
I think he just fits there.
The whole discourse is now that Geralt is finally in a game with good combat, and I found that really funny.
Sick bird.
But he looks, him with his swords, and then, you know, I don't really know Soul Calibur character names.
Much.
I'm not super into that.
There's Ivy and Voldo, and
you know way more than me.
As much as I know.
Way more than me. But he was just beating on someone, like using all his magic, and like, man, he looked really cool.
I think he just fits that world.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's all about you know, combat with swords and staffs and weapons. So, yeah, I don't know. It was cool.
Yep.
I'm keen for that. Sea of Thieves also had a cool gameplay trailer come out.
I didn't watch that, but...
Yeah, it's out on Tuesday, man.
Is it out on Tuesday?
Yeah, I'm so stoked for it. I'm
That's
really,
awesome.
really keen, because I'm all for a game that is silly and fun. And when I played the beta, that's exactly what it was. I just had fun screwing around and going on small little treasure hunts and stuff like that.
Did you play this recent beta?
I didn't, no.
Okay.
I didn't play this one. Apparently this one was a bit more expanded. I played the one, I think it was in February, which was very limited in scope.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people are going like, oh, what is the end goal for this game? You know, based on their experience with the beta. But Rare made, you know, they specifically said that this is a very small slice of the game. They've detailed things about the end game, which sound really interesting. They've detailed cool dynamic gameplay components like sailing and having the Kraken attack your ship, which was in the gameplay trailer, which was fucking cool. And it just looks like silly and stupid and fun. And I'm glad that people on PC and Xbox will be able to play together.
Yeah. I mean, my only experience with the game was that time we played it at E3.
At E3, yeah.
And
we loved it.
That 15 minutes we played was honestly, I mean, I don't know if it was one of those like vertical slice moments where you're with a whole group of people and the game is just really good. If it's like that in the real world when you can squad up, crew up, I guess, have some pirate friends, whatever, and just go do random shit, then by all means, I think it's going to be a really cool game. The water looks beautiful.
Yes, absolutely.
It's unreal,
stunning.
actually. I see screenshots, I'm like, holy shit. The game's like very cartoony in a sense, except for when it comes to the water, I'm like, that is just gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. The whole game is gorgeous. Like,
don't get me wrong. The game looks really, really beautiful.
Just its, its vistas and like horizons when the sun is going down or when it's just hitting into dawn. It's a very good looking game, and you should grab it on PC so we can have some more drunken adventures on a ship.
I would, but it's 1,000 rand or something.
See, this is why I wish Game Pass came to PC because I'm getting it on.
You're getting on Xbox for
Game Pass, yeah.
Oh, is it free with Game Pass?
Yeah, so any Xbox One, Xbox exclusives come to Game Pass the day and date it's out. And for $15, I think it's $15 a month, you get access to that game as long as you keep paying your subscription.
So it's so it's like the Netflix of games in a sense. And
great.
Sea of Thieves is on there.
Yep, Sea of Thieves will be on there. Yeah, on Tuesday. I'm very, very excited for that. Other big news. What you got?
What is Jurassic World Evolution?
It's like Planet Coaster.
Oh, okay. Good old Jeff Goldblum's lending his vocals to it?
Yeah, he's going to be Dr. Ian Malcolm back in there. Man, Jeff Goldblum's just the coolest dude.
He's a world treasure.
Yeah,
I don't want America to have claim on him because he belongs to the world. That guy, he's so good.
I love him. I mean, there's so many videos of it now, but him reading tweets and not understanding like modern lingo sometimes. Like someone was like, that's lit. He's like, what is shit's lit? What does that mean? He's a treasure.
His best performance for me was definitely in Thor.
Ragnarok.
Oh my god, that character
so good.
It's like the character was written for Jeff Goldblum.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, it just worked perfectly, and like I was in tears with just that character, the things he said, the things that he.
They're like, we need Jeff Goldblum in this movie.
Exactly.
Let's write a character for him.
It wouldn't work without him. So he's just, sorry, I know it's not like breaking news,
but he's in the game. I mean, the game looks pretty cool if you're into simulation type games because you're going to be building a park. You're going to be.
It's made by the same people who made Planet Coaster.
Yes, yeah, Frontier.
Which, from what I understand, was a really good coaster game.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, I think you have 2 Point Hospital, which is coming from the people who did Theme Hospital.
I can't wait for that.
You see, there's this gap where people really want games like that. So. And now that Jurassic World is a big thing, cool. You get to splice your own dinosaurs together. You get to run a park and hopefully avoid a catastrophe that turns into Jurassic World 3.
The scale of the movies.
Exactly.
People just dying.
Exactly. We brushed over it, but Shadow of the Tomb Raider got announced as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, which is, there's nothing more than just a teaser, but we knew that the game was coming because it was leaked ages ago.
Yeah.
And there's a full gameplay reveal coming on the 27th of April.
Oh, so it's still a good few weeks away.
Yeah, but again, before E3, this is meant to be the end of the trilogy arc of this reboot. So the whole thing is this is the game where Lara becomes the Tomb Raider. You can see in the teaser it looks like she's at some Aztec or Mayan temples.
An eclipse or something.
Yeah, with an eclipse happening.
I get it, Shadow.
Hey, Shadow. Hey. The big thing is that Crystal Dynamics is not developing this one.
Yeah, which I thought was quite interesting. I mean, they've worked not just on the last 2 games. They've done a lot of them. Since so we've got the modern day reboot, which was in 2013.
I think it was 13 when
that would have just Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just Tomb Raider.
But the games before that, I mean,
you had Anniversary,
Legend, and Underworld. Underworld's the one I didn't play, but I played Legend and Anniversary, and those at the time were again reboots, and they were really good.
They were good, yeah.
Underworld, I just couldn't get into. I don't know why. Maybe it was just a time and place thing, didn't grab me. But then they came and they rebooted again, and we all know how that went. Tomb Raider's in a really good place now.
Very good, yeah.
I only just recently finished Rise of the Tomb Raider about 4 months ago.
What a good game, man.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I'm keen for more of that.
Yeah.
I mean, let's see what's the last leg of this trilogy.
Yeah, I think I know a lot of people really just quickly want to like panic that Crystal Dynamics isn't on it, but I mean, Crystal Dynamics has always been managed by Eidos. And, you know, Crystal is busy working on their Avengers game, and Eidos Montreal is working on Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And I think it's fine. I think, you know, a lot of these studios underneath publishers, they share, you know, a lot of resources, and I wouldn't imagine that Eidos is now going to try and take Lara into an entirely different direction and rewrite what Crystal has done. I don't think that... You know, Crystal's vision was overseen by Eidos from the get-go. Yeah. So I think Eidos is 100% certain about their decision here. That said, it is a new developer. Things can change.
But I mean, that doesn't mean it's for the worst. I mean, everyone always imagines like, oh no, new developer, it's going to lose that feel, that touch, whatever. But
no, I don't think so.
I mean, it's exciting. As much as I want more of the same, it is good to introduce...
new elements,
whether it's, you know, I don't know, new gameplay mechanics or just subtle new touches.
I mean, Rise did that from Tomb Raider to Rise of the Tomb Raider. There's big differences.
It's a massive difference.
Yeah, like the hub world is greatly expanded, and you know, it's just a better game. So I think Eidos can learn from that.
They can build on that.
And Crystal must be super hard at work on whatever the hell Avengers game is going to be happening. So
do we have a release date for that at all?
The Avengers thing? No. And
TBA.
I think, Shadow, I don't think they mentioned 2018. But I would be shocked if it didn't come out this year. Like, it's been
they're
there
announcing
for ages now.
They're announcing it. Well, they've announced that they're showing... I don't know if they'll show gameplay, but they're showing...
a gameplay reveal.
Okay, so it's a gameplay reveal in April. So it's not impossible to think that it would
like
come
an end
this
of year
year.
release.
Yeah, like an end of year... No, I don't know. Which is Red Dead month? November?
October.
Is it October?
End of October, yeah. October's already Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, and Red Dead Redemption. It's like, do not release in this month.
Yeah, so, I mean, that being said, maybe the game was planned to be released this year, but maybe they'll do the thing and just push it out to Feb or March, which is very quickly becoming like a normal period to release big games.
I mean, they're already stuffed up somewhat. I mean, in a way, I still don't think that was the reason that Rise of the Tomb Raider failed a little bit at launch, but they launched on the same day as Fallout 4. Then it was early on Xbox, so...
You can't really gauge it, yeah. Well, you can, but I don't know.
I mean, a lot of people say that its launch placement was a bit bad, and maybe that's true, but I'm glad that they got rid of the exclusivity this time. It's coming out on PS4 and PC and Xbox all at the same time. And yeah, I'm just stoked for more Tomb Raider.
Yeah. But speaking of raiding tombs...
Yes.
I'm sorry, it's a bad segue. But Hearthstone's announced its new expansion.
Okay, you got to talk me through this, because I don't know what the hell's going on in Hearthstone anymore.
So the last expansion, Kobolds and Catacombs, had a whole lot of new cards, which is cool, fun. But the biggest thing for me was their dungeon run mode. Is it called dungeon run? I can't remember what it's called. But point is, it was single player content in the sense that you start with a very basic deck. So you choose your class. Okay. They give you a basic deck of cards. It's only like 10 cards, whatever. And you're just working your way through bosses that are chosen at random.
Okay, so that's pretty much the same. They haven't changed that formula in a while.
No. But this is... So you beat a boss, and then you get to choose 3 new cards to add your deck. And you get to choose, at certain levels, like a new passive or like a spell card.
Okay.
So, for example, passive might be your starting health is doubled.
Okay.
Your hero power costs 1 less and it's stronger, for example. And what I really liked about that, it was perfect for everyone. So whether you're a beginner or like Hearthstone veteran, you could just jump in, do 1 or 2 dungeon runs, see how far you can get. And it was super, super fun, you know, trying the different classes and obviously all the combinations of bosses and passives and spells and obviously constructing your deck like on the fly. So you beat a boss, you get presented 3 options with 3 cards. So if you're going for like a spell building deck, you obviously choose that selection.
It's like playing Arena, but with less stakes.
Yeah. So it's like completely free, no money commitment, nothing like that.
Okay.
So with the new expansion's called, is it called Witchwood? I think it's called Witchwood. they've literally just announced it and shown 6 cards. So the mechanic, from what I can tell, they're playing on odd and even decks. So there's 1 or 2 legendaries that they've unveiled where it's like this legendary, if you have no even cost cards in your deck, your hero power will cost 1 less, for example.
Oh, hectic. That's kind of cool.
So, yeah, now it's going to just add an interesting spin on deck building, because now all of a sudden you're like, well, I can only build like an odd-numbered mana cost deck or an even mana cost deck. So that's exciting, don't get me wrong. But I've sort of fallen off the Hearthstone bandwagon where I don't really care for, ranked play or deck building or whatever. But the dungeon run in Kobolds and Catacombs is really cool. I enjoy that. And I don't know if it's confirmed, but this new expansion will apparently have another mode like that, or I don't know, like another single player spin similar to that where you're doing a dungeon run or something along those lines, which is what I'm excited for.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I know. I mean, I fell off Hearthstone ages ago because it quickly turned into Magic the Gathering for me, which is not a bad thing. I think any card game that needs to sustain high-level play like this needs to have new cards and whatever, and anyone can bemoan the price, but if you ever engaged with something like Magic the Gathering, you'll know that the price is the same. Like, I played Magic for my first year in varsity, and I had to stop because it was just a financial drain that, I was losing a lot of money in. Not to say that I didn't enjoy it. I really enjoyed playing it. I watched the finals of the Hearthstone World Champs. It was about a month ago. And I could see immediately there, not even really knowing the current meta and knowing the cards, how people were complaining about how the meta is run by RNG at the moment. Like, randomness plays such a huge role in high-level play that it's tricky for people to be super competitive about it and be strategic when dice rolls are impacting the game more than they probably should. Like, a card game needs an element of randomness to it. That's what keeps it exciting. But when randomness is dominating the meta, like, there was a one match, I can't remember the 2 competitors, but the guy who eventually lost, he won the first match, I think of 5, purely because he was waiting for this card draw, and he eventually got it, and that immediately let him win the game.
Oh, geez,
like, just one card draw, and like, it's completely random. Like, so, there's something to be said about how Blizzard's constructing the meta, and I hope that this expansion maybe addresses some of those issues. But since you're not in ranked play and I don't play at all, like, I think I mean, if you're listening and you know a lot about Hearthstone high ranked play, let us know. What
tell us how stupid we are.
Yeah, tell us how stupid we are, or like what you would like to see in this expansion that changes up the meta. I know.
Let's be honest. Gwent is a better card game. Am I right?
Hey. No,
John Mark called my office, paid me to say that. Want my money on Monday.
So yeah, I think that's most of the news. I mean, there's always. I think this was a very packed week. So
it's tons of news.
Like, brush over stuff. There's new Nintendo Switch firmware, which doesn't do much.
That's about it.
You get some cool player icons, though. There's a Q.U.B.E one, which is cool.
Well, that's awesome then. Why are you brushing over that? Let's talk about it for 30 minutes.
There was big news with Microsoft at E3, like we kind of touched on at the beginning. They are moving out of the Los Angeles Convention Center, which is where E3 takes place. Really, really massive building. And they're...
Stuffy building.
Yeah, they're going across the road to the Microsoft Theater, which is... So, LA Convention Center is next to the Staples Center, which is the big, basketball concert arena. Like, everyone knows Staples Center. And just on the other side of that, there's this courtyard with loads and loads of restaurants. Really nice place. But there's also a huge Microsoft building there, and that is the Microsoft Theater.
Oh, and they've just never used it.
Never used it, no. So now...
the move seems like makes sense.
That seems pretty logical. So they've moved all of their stuff out of the convention center. They're going to have their conference there, so no longer in the Galen Center. And all of their stuff, all their hands-on events, all their stuff for the week of E3 is going to happen there. It seems that they organized this with the ESA, who run E3, so that means that they're not breaking away from E3 like EA has, and there's still going to be a very small Microsoft booth within the convention center. but it seems all of their stuff is happening there, which is interesting.
That's cool. That makes sense. I mean, if they own, I didn't know that they had a building. Like,
no, they have one there. Yeah.
It's like, why wouldn't they? Use it? Why have they waited so long?
Why share the space with people like Sony and stuff when they have their own space? What's also interesting is that they moved their press conference. It's now on the Sunday morning. So if you're keeping track now, because they keep changing this, Sunday morning. This is all speaking in LA time. Sunday morning is Microsoft. Sunday evening is Bethesda. Monday is Ubisoft, although they haven't confirmed that. I'm guessing it's going to be the same. And Sony, who also haven't confirmed, are usually on the Monday evening.
Yeah.
And then EA has their conference on the Saturday. Fuck. Yeah.
I always find it so weird that Microsoft go before Sony. Like, I know there's not much you can change, you know, if Microsoft announced something, Sony can't be like, well, actually, we're going to do this. But to me, it always seems...
like they can be reactionary.
Like they can have reactionary announcements. I mean, I can't remember off the top of my head now, but it feels like the 1 year... I think it was when the Xbox One and the PS4 or something was being announced.
Oh, the prices.
Yeah. It really did feel like Xbox, like, here's this, and then PlayStation, okay, well, they didn't say, like, Xbox aren't giving you this, but it was like, well, PlayStation's giving you this, and this, and this. Yeah. And it really did feel like,
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. Everyone says that these decisions are made well in advance, and I'm sure they are. I don't think in 9 hours Sony could go, okay, we're going to price the PS4 $100 less to undercut Microsoft. Like, that's crazy.
No.
But... Who the hell knows, you know?
But just the perception, though. It always feels like, well, Xbox gave you that, and now Sony gave you this. Exactly. You know? So just from a perception point of view, I always find it amazing that Xbox just go before. Like, I think, personally, I'd want to go after, if it were possible.
I mean, it can work in the opposite way as well. Microsoft can have such a great conference, and then Sony goes,
like, shit.
We can't match that, you know what I mean? So... It's a weird dynamic. I'm just kind of glad that they've spread out, because the very first I3 went to was Bethesda on Sunday, and then on Monday it was Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, Sony, all one after another. Yeah. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. You don't have time to breathe. People don't have time to kind of like soak in, you know, what is being announced and stuff. And I felt like Ubisoft and EA got drowned out by Microsoft and Sony.
Yeah.
So... yeah, that's happening. I think that's basically it. Yeah.
Should we touch on what's coming this week?
Yeah, let's run through that quickly, because we actually do have some slight listener questions to go through.
Oh boy, we're in hour 17.
So lots of stuff happening this week. Just the smallish games. Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered. If you remember that was happening,
that was quite a good one, wasn't it?
Pretty good one. Yeah, I have no idea why they're remastering it, but. It's a good game if you haven't played it.
Rogue was on 360 and PS3, wasn't it?
It came out that year when Unity came out. Okay,
so they're just bringing it to modern platforms, I guess, then.
Essentially. We've got Attack on Titan 2, which reviews were already out, and apparently it's pretty good. We've got Detective Pikachu, which is a nice adventure game.
I didn't even know that was coming this week, let alone this year. Wait,
the big mystery is why Pikachu can talk.
Exactly.
Yeah. We've got
so meta.
MLB The Show 18, which is baseball. If you're into
baseball.
The Witch and the 100 Knight 2. No idea what that is.
Nope.
Absolutely. Whoa. Okay. Help me say this name.
Where are we?
Atelier Ledai?
Suele.
The Alchemists and Mysterious Paintings.
I've no idea.
Completely butchered.
Is this? Oh,
it's coming to Switch.
Nice. Sold. I'll buy it.
Don't know
what it is. And Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom.
Ni no Kuni 2, which got delayed a bunch, finally coming out. Apparently, also very good. A lot of journalists have been chatting about it.
I missed the first one. I
also missed the first one. Yeah, I'm pretty sad about that as well.
Yeah, I've got a few friends who've played and really loved it. So,
But the big ones... Oh, wait. There's also Titan Quest coming out. I'm not a fan of Titan Quest at all.
Oh, wait. No. Sorry. I thought you said... I'm like, you already said it was Attack on Titan 2.
No. Titan Quest is like...
They should just merge and be Attack on Titan Quest 2.
Shit, okay. I'm down. I'm down.
What? Oh, we said Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, so big ones. Sea of Thieves coming out on Tuesday. On Xbox and PC, very excited.
Oh, A Way Out.
Mm-hmm.
I know that was out this week.
Yeah, so that's Joseph fuck the Oscars Fairs.
Oh, is that his game?
Yes, it's his. He's a very, very interesting man.
It's going to be so interesting if his game turns out bad. Everyone's going to be like, well, fuck your game too.
I think the game's looking really good.
I thought it was an interesting premise.
Yeah, completely co-op. Two guys escaping prison. So
it's Prison Break the game.
Yeah, Prison Break the game.
Let's hope there's only one season.
I'm super... Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm super down for that. But the biggest release this week... Oh, wait, hold on. Is this week? It's not this week.
It's not.
We lied.
Tune in next week and we'll tell you what it is.
Jesus. Okay. Half of the games we said were coming out this week are actually next week.
I blame Alessandro for that because the screen was out of my sight. So.
I can't read dates. I also think that we're in the last week of March.
We're in the
and
future,
we definitely
apparently.
aren't. Yeah.
No, okay, well, what we were getting at is Far Cry 5, but...
That's next week.
That's the following week, so we'll talk about it next week.
Good thing that we have someone asking us about that in the questions. Do you want to load up Twitter real quick?
Yeah, let me...
So before you get to that, if you want to send questions into the show, which you probably should because we're getting pretty good at, answering them now.
We made 5 minutes for you.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding. The show can run over.
You can tweet us at any time on our Twitter account at Checkpoint Chat. We'll also put out a questions tweet on Fridays from now on to try and attract you. You can also email us on Checkpoint Chat Podcast. That's Checkpoint Chat Podcast at gmail.com.
Some dick took Checkpoint Chat at gmail.com.
Fucking asshole, can tell you. But message us at any time. We will get to all the questions we can. And we're just really keen to hear from everyone. Yeah. Give us your opinions. It doesn't have to be gaming related. Ask us about the new Avengers trailer. It was really good.
Let's kick off with this first question from Old Sock ZA.
I don't know who that is.
I'm speaking rubbish. It's at Wobbly Onion. His name is Old Sock ZA. He says, "How do mermaids have sex? Do they even have sex?"
Well, just this week at work, I had 2 of my Cuphead figurines on top of each other.
Oh boy!
And I was pretty sure that's how Cupheads have sex. So I'm pretty sure mermaids can have sex.
My response to that was just go watch The Shape of Water because doesn't it?
And it's true.
Doesn't it explore? Okay, not mermaid sex, but
it's a fish
sex. So
fish man with a really good butt.
It's based. I haven't seen the movie yet. Have you seen the movie?
Not yet. I just know he's got a really good butt.
Is that your take on?
Yeah.
It won Oscars because he has a really good butt.
Yeah. Guillermo del Toro really wanted to get that fish butt right.
So we'll leave that to your imagination. If sex is like that with a fish, I imagine it's with a mermaid.
Aren't a lot of fish like androgynous? Is that the word?
I was going to say asexual, but that is not.
That is so not the word. No,
that is not the word.
That is so androgynous. So maybe mermaids are androgynous as well.
Yeah,
or maybe I don't know. Who knows? I don't know.
I'm leaving that at
Watch The Shape of Water.
Yeah,
apparently a good movie.
Won Oscars, therefore definitely.
If you want to see the sequel to Shape of Water, you can watch Pacific Rim, which is when the fish people have had babies, and then the babies come and destroy Earth. And we have to build robots
to fight them.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you for that question. Very, very interesting. We've got Guild_Gamer on Twitter who says, let's have some thoughts / discussions on Far Cry 5. We'll save that for next week.
I mean, Far Cry 5's coming out next week, but also are you excited for Far Cry 5?
Nah, not really.
I'm also not.
It's not a franchise that grabs me.
You see, this is the thing. It's a franchise that I love. I really loved Far Cry 2 and 3. I just feel like, and this is weird considering we spent so long talking about how Ubisoft doesn't make bad games. I don't think they do.
No.
I think Far Cry especially has just become super formulaic. So, I know what you're kind of going to get.
Yeah.
Which is fine. If you dig that and you're in for a new Far Cry, hunt things, make pouches, make ammo pouches, hunt more things, cool, done. I'm just bored of that. I'm interested in the setting, though.
Yeah, if you want to, go sort out some extremists in wild America.
Yeah. Especially with all this discourse about gun control in America.
Yeah, it kind of fits, which is very interesting. It was just timed very well.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't have asked for a better marketing campaign than Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, even when the game was sort of revealed, it was when Trump hadn't just won, but the whole backdrop was America's
white supremacy.
Yeah, and so it sort of fits in.
Yeah, I mean,
awfully neatly, some would say.
There's also a dog, though.
There's a dog who can throw your gun to you.
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
the only reason I'll play the game. To be honest. Okay, but the question goes on. He says, so let's have some thoughts, discussions on Far Cry 5. I think we will talk about that more next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a lot more.
We'll get into the weeds a bit more. And the current success of Fortnite. So we've already touched on that.
We touched on that in the news. Fortnite, I think, is crazy successful, and it's coming to mobile. And I think Epic, again, just to echo it, is doing a really good job with that game. Yeah. Extremely good.
And then the last part of this question, also throw in some Monster Hunter with the great updates and releases they are doing.
Oh, yeah, shit. So there was two updates announced for Monster Hunter this week. So I desperately want to be playing Monster Hunter, but here's the thing.
What's wrong?
There are no retail copies in the country anymore because I cannot find them.
Oh, geez.
And the digital price is absurd because it's like 200 Rand more on PSN. Geez, it's like 1,069 Rand, something like that. And I think
it's so expensive.
Yeah. And that's a whole other issue to get into, like exchange rates and digital pricing here is a bit of a mess. And yeah, we'll
get into that one day. But Monster Hunter.
Yes. So it's got 2 updates coming this week. Well, not coming this week, but they were announced this week. The first was Dante is coming to Dante from Devil May Cry. So Monster Hunter has been doing a lot of this cross-promotional stuff, like Horizon Zero Dawn content and
isn't it Ryu Street Fighter?
Yeah, Street Fighter Ryu.
Can you Hadouken a monster?
Yes,
really?
I think so. I actually think you can.
Oh my god!
You can also can dress up, because do you know that in Monster Hunter you've always got a companion that's a cat, a palico?
Which is why I should play the game.
Yes,
I don't know why I haven't played.
You can dress up your palico as a watcher from Horizon Zero Dawn, which is really cute.
God damn. I need this game.
So yeah, Dante is coming to the game. He's bringing along his traditional swords and stuff. You can dress up as Dante. It's Capcom just knowing that, you know, they're people. Yeah, it's just fan servicey shit. I just really hope that all the rumors around a new Far Cry weren't just this. Like, I hope we do get it. Far Cry. A new Devil May Cry, yeah. Sorry, my bad.
Like, Far Cry's coming to Monster
Hunter. All these cries,
Hunter?
God damn it. Ugh, why is everything crying? I really hope that a new Devil May Cry is coming out, especially now that Bayonetta 2 reignited my love for hack and slash stuff. So the other thing was this monster called, it's spelled really weirdly. I think he's pronounced Devil Joe. He's
Devil May Cry?
Devil May Cry Joe. Joe is a cry.
Oh boy.
Devil Joe.
Something.
Cry
Joe Devil.
Cry Joe Devil. Pizza. Yeah, I don't
know.
What? But apparently he's a staple in the Monster Hunter franchise. I've got people at work who love Monster Hunter, so they were talking me through this. He looks like a fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex, and when he gets angry, he just gets bigger. He also looks like a Tyrannosaurus Rex that bench pressed too much at gym.
Godzilla.
Like, he's just got this big chest and tiny arms, so he just spent way too long in the bench press.
So it's Nicola as a dinosaur.
Yeah. Good lord. Oh my god.
Doing some CrossFit in the background. He's coming over to Monster Hunter now. I'm sorry, I derailed that.
It's not the it's not the biggest monster in the game as far as I can tell, but people are super stoked to hunt this thing because people are masochists and they just want to hunt cute dinosaurs.
Yeah, when John Michael at my office explained the game to me, he's like, so Monster, when it released, so he's like, so Monster Hunter, you basically, and he like gave me the elevator pitch. I'm like, so you basically killing innocent creatures to take their body parts and craft new gear.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
It's actually a fashion simulator.
I'm like, what?
Yeah. It's, if there was a modern day Monster Hunter, it would just be you like hunting foxes and making coats.
I know.
Or something. It's terrible. It's horrible.
It's terrible. I don't know if we should just touch on the success of the game because it came out in January.
Yeah, it's become like Capcom's fastest selling game. It's
best, isn't it? Not the
I think it's the highest selling.
It's the something selling game.
Yeah.
Of Capcom.
Oh, wait, hold on. I can search this real quick. Okay. We do have another question, don't we?
Do we? Don't worry, I'll fill in this segment with our non-sponsor
Green Apron.
Cadbury 5-star chocolate.
Don't say that. They might sponsor us one day.
So what's wrong with that? So here's a fun story. So there was a study done by Cadbury about 2 weeks ago. They gave 325 candidates chocolates to enjoy, and they had to give their ratings afterwards. You know what the average rating was?
No.
It's 5 stars.
I hate you so much right now.
You love me. Get to Monster Hunter news quick, so I can stop speaking shit.
Good lord. Monster Hunter World has sold 7.5 million copies in a little over 5 weeks. This was at the beginning of the month. And it is now Capcom's highest selling game ever.
So it is the highest selling game.
Yeah.
Incredible
for a game
that is quite impressive.
Yeah. Before World, it was a very niche game that was releasing on
on the handhelds.
Handhelds, 3DS. Like I think the last one that came to console was on PS2 or something like that. Who could have fucking thought? And a lot of this is spurred on by Destiny not being the Destiny people wanted. I know almost exclusively all the people I play Destiny with are playing Monster Hunter and saying this is the grind that they were looking for. Yeah. So
you've got people who've put like hundreds of hours in already, and they still playing the goddamn game.
Yeah.
7.5 million copies in 5 weeks is staggering.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I mean, and Capcom's best-selling game. Capcom's not just
a small
company that's just appeared. They've been around for a long time.
They do your Street Fighters, they do your Devil May Cry's, your Resident Evils. Like, they big franchises. Yeah. And also only on 2 platforms, because PC's only coming out later this year.
Oh, my word.
So, yeah.
When's the Switch version coming is my question.
You say that, but Capcom said that they didn't want... They said they couldn't get the game on Switch, but then development house Iron Galaxies, who have... Iron Galaxy... who have experience with porting over games to Switch.
Make it happen.
Who's the lead? I think it's Adam something. He used to work at Sony. He basically tweeted at them and said, hey, you should contact us and we can chat about trying to get World on Switch.
Interesting.
I'd be down.
That's a game I can only... Well, I say that, but I'm busy playing Witcher. But let's remember, I've only put 35 hours in The Witcher in the past 3 weeks to a month.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a game that needs hundreds of hours. That would work for me. If it was on mobile, I could definitely play it a lot more regularly.
Yeah.
So I don't even want to commit to it on a console or PC because I don't think I would get I'd enjoy the game, but I don't think I'd get that end game grind, which is what seems to be what's keeping people hooked in the first place.
No, it's definitely a time sink game that you need to keep chipping away at.
Yeah.
I know people who've spent 100 hours and, felt like nothing almost. So, yeah, I'm keen to eventually get into
100 hours is just nothing.
But we got no more questions. I swear we had one from someone else.
No, there was just this troll.
We didn't have one from Migs or anything?
No, he just said, I finished Deus Ex Mankind Divided and all its DLC. I've started playing Resident Evil 0. So cool. Not a question, just a excited statement.
Oh, cool. But Mankind Divided, didn't really enjoy that one.
I never played it. I need to get it.
I liked Human Revolution a lot. I didn't really dig Mankind Divided.
Human Revolution.
Yeah. Resident Evil 0, you played that, didn't you?
I played that.
Good.
I enjoyed it. It's a bit dated in the way its inventory system works.
It's a prequel to the first one.
It's a prequel to the first one. You've got 2 characters. It's Billy and... Is it
Billy?
Billy Joel Osment. No, not Billy Joel Osment. Billy and Rebecca. And so a staple of Resident Evil is
Rebecca
the chest.
Black?
No, god damn it. There's the staple inventory management thing in Resident Evil is you get a chest. So it defies all logic. In the old games, you can put your shotgun in a chest in this room and run to the other side of the mansion. Your shotgun's magically there in that chest. Okay. This game doesn't have that. Your inventory is literally all you can carry. And you've got 2 characters and you're swapping between them. So it becomes a thing of you need this, this key to unlock that door, but it takes an inventory slot, but you don't have space. You're going to have to drop your handgun or a weapon or something, make space for it. You can't. It's just, long story short, inventory in that game is just a headache. It just slows what's otherwise a really cool Resident Evil game. So Migs, if you're listening, don't get me wrong, play it. It's still a really cool Resident Evil, but plow through it and get to the Resident Evil 1 remake, which is really still one of the best Resident Evil games.
I've been meaning to play the remake of the first one.
It's so good.
And they're busy remaking the second, aren't they?
They're remaking the second. So hopefully E3 gets some more on that. But to go back to number 1, what blows my mind is Resident Evil 1 came out on PlayStation, I don't know, it must have been 96, 97.
Yeah.
And like a few short years later, they remade it for, I think it was the GameCube.
Okay.
And it's unreal. That was like 2004. That game still holds up very well today, purely because it's made with, it's got the pre-rendered background. So it's not like graphic prowess. A console doesn't need like to be graphic intensive or whatever, but it just looks good. I mean, 2004, that's 14 years ago now, and it still looks really, really good.
I think it's just also a case of like the atmosphere. It's like you're in a mansion and stuff like that.
Just the way they use the lighting and just everything.
It's before Resident Evil went stupid.
Yeah, Resident Evil did go stupid, but it came back. I was quite happy with 7. So yeah, I don't know if we'll see anything from Capcom in that regard this year. Maybe a little. Well, no. Let's not. Resident Evil 8 can wait. Let's get the Resident Evil 2 remake before we worry about anything else.
I agree because that's already been long in the tooth. It's turning into like a Final Fantasy 7 remake situation.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. Even that. I can't wait for E3.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of exciting stuff coming this year.
Yeah,
that I just can't wait to talk about. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
I think
that was a good chat. I enjoyed that. And next week...
It was a good checkpoint chat.
Yeah, it was a good... Ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that too.
Getting some glass action.
But yeah, that was episode 3 of Checkpoint Chat, where...
Unlike Valve, we actually made it to episode 3.
Hey, we can put 3 in our name. Hey. But yeah, I'm super stoked, again, for just the response this podcast has gotten. I'm really happy that people who listened to the first episode seem to have carried over into the second. And I'm really enjoying this. Send us your questions. Send us your feedback, as always. And just chat. This is a conversation. Converse.
Yeah, thank you for the questions this week. I mean, this is what we want to do. We want to have a segment where we just talk, like, even if it's random shit, like, send it to us. We're happy to talk it through and just have fun with you guys. So, yeah. Don't be shy.
Also, we're putting a Patreon up. It's going to be $100 for each episode from now on, so enjoy that.
And for $200, you'll get a nude calendar.
Ooh, worth it. I'm putting that down.
No, we're not doing that.
We're not doing that. The one bit of news is that we're on some new platforms, so you can catch us on, I think it's Overcast. We're on Stitcher as well now, which is pretty handy for Android. If you're listening from America, hey, Neelan, what's up?
Google Play.
We're on Google Play, which
music.
Is
sorry.
Google Play
My
Music.
My brother's like, stop saying Google Play, say Google Play Music.
Oh, Google Play Music.
Because God forbid people think we're not talking about Google Play Music when we just say Google Play.
So Google Play Music, which only supports podcasts if you're in the States.
For some reason.
Don't know why. That's cool. We've also applied for Spotify now that Spotify's launched in South Africa. So yeah, if there's any platforms we're somehow missing, because I feel like we're on like 8 platforms now, let us know and we'll try get onto that as soon as possible. But yes, this has been a great episode, Matty.
Yep.
I love you.
I love you too.
Love you all. Bye. We'll see you in episode 4 next week.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.